So we are live. Good
Hey,
morning, Facebook fans. I am welcome to Wake Up with Toastmasters, and I am your host today, Jennifer Smith, the District 115's PRM, and I have my co-host today, Jean Dunford. Good morning, Jean.
good morning, Jennifer. How are you this morning?
Good, thank you. It looks like the interns are working today where I have a banner.
There
I
you
have
go.
a
Isn't that
banner.
amazing?
That is amazing.
Yeah. I think we need
So,
to have a Wake Up with Toastmasters board meeting and have everybody join.
oh, we should do that one
Yeah.
morning. Like
Maybe a
all
breakfast meeting.
Oh, well, I was thinking of Wake Up with Toastmasters, all five
Oh,
of us.
yeah, that would be true
Yeah.
too.
On the Zoom. Maybe one
I,
morning we can do that,
I,
especially
I,
when it gets
I was
closer.
just thinking we could get the boss to pick up the tab for breakfast if we all met for breakfast somewhere.
Oh, that would be, since we get paid nothing, I'm sure our boss gets paid nothing as well.
Yeah, but we could broadcast live from some
Yeah, we may be able to
breakfast
broadcast
meeting.
live this
Yeah.
week. I can't remember
Oh,
what my role is in the contest, but I really do would like to get a live broadcast and maybe put one of our Toastmasters or two on the spot. That would be
so
nice to talk about that out maybe during our break. So maybe that might be a thing.
anything's possible, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I am the Toastmaster this week with Valley Voices and Vices, and I have yet to come up with a theme, and so I figure today's Wednesday. I only have 2 days, and I have to send out an email to all of my members that hey, I'm the Toastmaster, and confirm your role. So I haven't picked out a theme yet. So I figured that why not show uh, our audience how we determine themes, where our resources are, and maybe what our responsibility is as a Toastmaster when we are there at the meeting. Maybe sound good? You're on mute.
There we go. I'm muted. I
Hey,
think that meeting themes really make for a great meeting if everybody goes along with the theme. If you get it out in time and you have everybody, like the speeches all agree with the theme and the table topics agree with the theme and the education minute, everything can go really smoothly if it follows that theme.
typically our speeches don't follow the theme because of the way that the whoever is speaking because it's on their pathway. But yes, the minute master, the topics, table topics, master, and then whatever else that we have usually does follow through
Yep.
with the
Right.
theme. And
Yep.
so I had a general evaluation on one of my meetings where the theme was lunchtime in Paris. And they were like, well, you should talk more about it, about lunchtime with Paris or Paris. And usually the theme just kind of flows through where I wouldn't have to do that, especially, with the table topics and the minute master. But in our group, Toastmasters in the Kitchen, it was, we don't have a minute master. We do have the cooking tips. So that takes place of that
Mm-hmm.
part. So it didn't really flow, but I thought I did a good job because I just talked about lunchtime in Paris. And then sometimes then you start talking too much and you run out of time. So I figure my minute master or the minute master usually starts the research of whatever the theme is and and show more of what happens, reason why, whatever the theme will be. So let's do this. I think I am going to share my screen
Okay.
and talk about how we find themes or ideas for themes. So hopefully when I share my screen, nothing really pops up, but hey, but us, did you see that? Oh,
Look
yeah.
at that.
And the first thing that I usually do is National Day calendar. I go there to find out what's happening on that Friday that we're having our meeting. That's the first thing. So we are in the month of March. And maybe the theme's based around a holiday. Maybe it is based around, the events that are going on. So let's do national days in March. I don't know if Gene's talking to me or if he is having a conversation with somebody. So I am scrolling down to March. What day is Friday? Friday is the 25th. Can't believe that. Usually I'm pretty good at knowing my calendar. So the 25th, it is Lobster Newberg Day, Lobster Medal of Honor Day, and National Tolkien Reading Day. Is that the Lord of the Rings, Gene? Maybe the
Excuse
author.
me. Yeah, I have a barking dog in the backyard. Oh, I have more barking dogs.
That's a lot of noise for a dog. So J.R.R. Tolkien is an English writer, poet, philosophist, and a university professor. So he is the author of Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings. So it could be very clever to say it is National Tolkien Reading Day.
That would be, yeah.
National Tolkien Reading Day, and talk about what's your favorite part of Lord of the Rings. But I am not a Lord of the Rings. Like some people remember parts of the movies and be able to recite. I will not be able to do that. So I don't think I will be able to pick that theme. So let's see what National Medal of Honor Day is. So I already can see table topics saying you won the National Medal of Honor. What, or was a recipient, what did you do to earn this? Something like that. So that could be, it could be something, could be something to say, What do you think? Dean's probably dealing with the dog still.
Yeah, they're barking. Someone just came in the front door, so that they're the greatest burglar alarm I've ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Medal of Honor, I think, bestowed upon military for saving other troops' lives or something, like throwing yourself in a grenade.
Yeah.
That would get you the Medal of Honor. But it's
Yeah.
awarded by Congress. That is a pristine award. If we could get somebody from Vegas to come in and talk to us about their Medal of Honor, that would be awesome.
Yeah. So, well, and that would be for maybe for our conference that we'll have, but this is for the 25th, Gene. So that's kind of interesting. We can do that. Or if I run out of what is Lobster Newberg Day? So we can look at that and go, what's lobster? Ooh.
I believe it's a nice dish. Let's have some.
Oh, well, that could be a Toastmasters in the kitchen day. And wow, worthy of having a whole day. So I didn't like those too much. And so I maybe then go to, because my brain isn't working, going, maybe we can do National Weeks Day in March. Oh, you know what? We haven't done the celebration of women. We did that, the International Women's Week. We have Termite Awareness Week, Brain Awareness Week.
I didn't know there were so many holidays to celebrate.
Yeah, or events.
Yeah, exactly.
National Introverts Week.
That would be a great one. We could have all the introverts of our meeting stand up and talk to us.
Yeah. Well, Gene and I did, right? Gene and I talked about Toastmasters are introverts by, I think, by personality, by DNA default. And I think what I think we have a winner. National Introverts Week. What do you think? Gee, he's on mute again.
There you go. I have a hard time when screens pop up that cover my mute button.
Oh,
So there I am. So yeah, I think national introverts, how to get out of being an introvert and into an extrovert.
I like it. So that's what it will be. But let's look at some of the other resources. And you know what? It's so funny because I know there's a resource and is it, do you know, is it Lily or what is that one? Oh, well, let's do this. Toastmasters themes. I did this one of the first times that I was 125 Toastmasters themes or meeting ideas. Look at that. At the tip of
Let's
your,
look at those. I've never seen any of those.
yeah, it's kind of cool. And so somehow, some way, somebody has created this web page. I don't know if it was a Toastmaster or if it just gets compiled. I don't know how these ideas pop up, but oh well, look, somebody named Krishana in Bangalore created it, and there's themes from famous quotes, books, random thoughts. So they took the time to put 125 plus examples. So if you ever run out of themes, and listen, for those of you who are ready to prepare for a convention, for just a meeting in general, you can use these. Toastmasters is to help you and design for you to be able to work in the outside world and or to have these creative juices that are coming in, and it'll help you. So to travel is to live. That's a theme, maybe where you want to travel and talk about that. It is your attitude, not your aptitude, that determines your altitude. That's a quote. So that could be a theme. Turn your obstacles into opportunities. Retro 90s, kind of like that. Make hay while the sun shines. How do you prepare?
That was my dad's favorite thing to say. Make hay while the sun shines.
Choices in life. What are your choices? Just a theme. Dreams and ambitions, ways to relax and then what you do with these themes is then you find out ways and you give examples and you talk about it throughout the meeting. So we'll do that in just a minute. Just want to see how much time we have.
I've always been interested in time travel. I'd like to go to that meeting.
Yeah.
Time travel. I saw an ad in the paper for somebody looking for a traveling companion. It said you must provide your own guns and your safety's not guaranteed.
Oh, that would be a great table topic storyline. The chatterbox within. So instead of the introvert, we can have the chatterbox. Things to do in a lifetime. That's a good theme. And at our Valley Voices and Vices, what we do is we ask questions of our members. So my email that will go out will say, hello fellow Toastmasters. It is National Introvert Week. Do you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert, and why? And please be prepared to answer these questions to me before Thursday noon. And when confirm your roles. And when the role pops up, we will announce what they've said. And it's kind of cool because then you also get to learn a little bit about your fellow Toastmasters.
Do you share that with the Table Topics Master and then they can use those for questions?
No, we don't actually. Yeah, we just announced that when we announce, say, the Minute Master will say Jennifer, her answer is extrovert all the way, because how can I ever be considered an introvert? And we would just read that off. And sometimes, table topics, are they prepared? Maybe they'll start writing their questions during the meeting as well, to see how does it actually lead through. It's so funny because for table topics, will come off the top of my head, not be prepared. I used to go, oh, it's Thursday night, gotta sit down, do my table topics, be prepared, be ready. And now I just look at something and go, okay, let's do this.
Jumping down the list, you have Back to the Future. You could set up the meeting so you assign character names to each of the people who are going to be like table topics. That could be Marty McFly. And then just do the whole meeting around Back to the Future. That would be pretty
I
cool.
love that. See, and this is where the creative juices start to flow, when you start to actually go, well, I can do it this way, I can do it that way. So the best lessons I never learned. I like that one. Monsoon and memories. A time for everything is everything in its time, and everything in its time.
Jennifer, I have always wondered, there's the monsoon. Why isn't there the mon later?
That's funny. Read a new book every month. Remember when. That's a good theme. It takes cool people to help warm a climate. That's a what do you want to call it? Coalition. It's okay to be different. Feel the fear and do it anyways. I think we've had that before. Colors of life. See it to believe it. In the spirit of being an Indian, and one step at a time. And then there's the festivals and holidays, motivational themes. Look at this. And then they ask for more ideas.
Let's share this link on our Facebook page, and then we can see if people use it.
Yeah. So we will do. I will put that on when we're done with this. So let's go. Let's stop sharing. So those are 2 places to find themes, right? That's, you find your theme, and I already gave you what we actually do in our meeting, in our Toastmasters meeting. So what does a Toastmasters do? Now, one of the things that Ken and Phyllis has been showing is that there's a lot of resources in Toastmasters International. Toastmasters will not let you fail. Your fellow Toastmasters will not let you fail. And you will have a mentor who will help you with your very first meeting or your first couple of meetings. So I think I was Toastmasters probably within a Toastmaster within the first 4 weeks of me attending or signing up as member. And so of course, and I'm like, what's the theme? I can't even remember what my very first theme was, but maybe it was around St. Patrick's Day. So that was kind of easy to do, and talked about St. Patrick and everything. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So anyway, but being a Toastmaster, what are your responsibilities? So you have your mentor, and your mentor will say, this is what you need to do at the beginning, and then you run the meeting. So they'll tell you what to do by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, to confirm roles, to make sure that everybody's position is filled, because it's designed to help you run a meeting and do it effectively. And then when you have the meeting on meeting day at your club meeting, you have your officers who are running the meeting and the business part of the meeting. And then the president introduced the Toastmaster, and then you're the Toastmaster. And that's where the meat of the meeting happens, where you first call on your helpers. So you have your word grammarian, you call on your minute master, and then you call on your table topics master. So you call those great people. Can't wait till we meet face to face, where you shake people's hands, you look them in the eyes, and you say thank you. It's kind of turning control over to the lectern. And it's so funny to watch executive meetings and presentations where people do not do that. They're just like, oh, welcome. And then you step aside, right? That's what they're doing. But we teach people how to approach the lectern, shake the person who's introducing their hands, and then have the presentation. There's a couple of things that are happening. First, somebody is introducing, and I would like to introduce our speaker today, Jennifer Smith, who is from Valley Voices and Vices, and she is not a DTM, but she does have accolades of Toastmasters of the Year from her club, from the district, and now from an area. Whoop, whoop. And let's give a round of applause to Jennifer Smith. That's an introduction. And so you learn that with Toastmasters. And there's so many people that don't do that when they're doing presentations and releasing the lectern. So number one. So then you do introduce everybody, and then you introduce the speakers that come on. And so you do another introduction like I just gave, and you call on certain things such as timing reports, who's the best winner. You call on that. It's basically your meeting. You do what you want to do with it. And then at the end, you call on your evaluator. How did the meeting run? How did you do as Toastmasters, as the Toastmaster? And then how did everybody do grammatically, and word of the day, using the word of the day. And then you end the meeting as the Toastmaster, turn control back to the presiding officer, and then your part of being a Toastmaster is over. But I love it because I do meetings, and I love the way that it's structured, it's organized. And people, I think we miss a lot of that when we do talk about going to a Toastmasters meeting. Talk about a lot of roles, a lot of responsibilities, but what actually happens in a Toastmasters meeting right there kind of tells you. What do you think, Gene?
I like it. I think that a lot of our meetings are set up around the website that has the meeting list. Mm-hmm. Or the role list, and you can sign up for roles in advance.
Yes.
So if you want to be the Toastmaster, next week or 2 weeks from now, you can go online and sign up for it. And then if you want to be Table Topics Master, you can sign up for that. So you can sign up for a lot of the roles. And then also the person who's the Toastmaster can go in and assign you a role.
Yeah.
If you're not signed up for a role, and then the VP Ed can also do that. The idea is to move you along to improve your abilities. So the VPE is not going to let you sit there and not do anything. You're going to be moved into some role, small roles at first, and then larger roles as you get more comfortable. But go ahead, Jennifer.
Most likely you are that introvert, and maybe you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that role. Take the baby step roles, right? Take the minute master, or take an evaluator, take a word of the day. Those are not the big roles. You don't always have to be a speaker, and you don't always have to be a Toastmaster.
I had to be pushed into doing anything because I just wanted to sit there. I didn't want to participate. I just wanted to watch.
Yeah. And everyone, Jean, it's your turn to be Toastmaster. What? I have to do this? Yeah.
And I love the way they do it. Well, why don't you think about being Toastmaster in a couple of weeks? Meanwhile, you can do this and this.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. I think I wanted to be Toastmaster immediately. I'm like, can I be a Toastmaster? Can I be a Toastmaster? But it's also hard when I was president for 12 months, I think 12 consecutive months. And it's hard to be president and Toastmaster because all you do is you hear me talk, right? And you're just like, all right. So I wasn't Toastmaster a lot as a president or as
You got to be careful in Valley Voices and Vices. They have their sights set on you being an area director pretty soon here. So,
I well, not area, district, because I'm going to be division, and I think that's the site.
there you go. See,
Yeah,
see,
that's her site.
when I was in the club, they promoted me to president. And then, oh hey, you've been president. Why don't you become an area director? And then, oh, you've been area director. Why don't you be division director? You know,
Yeah.
they have a little push behind them over there.
Yeah, they do a really good job at promoting and wanting people. I think, and I think that with George and Maria and Lori there, that they do a good job of mentoring. And I think that for most of our clubs, I think that we need that. I think that looking at all of those people that have been showing up at the contest, that there's so much potential with a lot of our members. And I think we're missing out as a district to be able to get them into the role of area directors and division directors. So anyway, our time is about up. We have, let's see, today is Wednesday. So we have Ken and Phyllis tomorrow. Don't know if they have a guest. And then we'll have Jean and Anita De La Croce.
Gene and somebody.
Yeah, on Friday. So I hope you guys learned something today. It was kind of fun, and it helped me decide what a theme would be for my meeting on Friday. So I have to get that out to everybody now after this show. And if you ever have any questions about themes or what a Toastmaster, how Toastmasters run their meeting, let me know. Put your comments in the comments and we'll get back to you. And for now, it is Wednesday, and I hope that you guys have a great day. And thanks for joining us. Give us a thumbs up if you like the show and make sure you share it. Otherwise, I will see you next Wednesday, and maybe I might have something else exciting to tell you. So, all right.
We're all going to be dying wondering what your theme is going to be because you've left us hanging here.
No, it's going to be the introverts.
Okay, the introverts.
It's National Introvert Week.
All
so
right.
The question will be, are you an introvert or are you an extrovert? So, and it's kind of nice. It's a little personality quiz. Maybe I can find. All right, guys. Well, have a good Wednesday. Stay safe out there, and we'll talk to you soon.
Great show. Thanks, Jennifer.
You are welcome, but we are not off.